Hello, 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 good evening. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss all things relationship, love, friendship, marriage, and everything in between. Yes, I am going to be your host for the evening again. My name is Osaiwa Mesale. And again, first, before we even go into all the conversation, I'd like to say happy birthday to our technical director, Peter Wadi. You've been an amazing addition to the team, so happy birthday. I hope you had a good day today, even though I've not seen the cake, just to let you know. Precious is online. Precious, it was your birthday as well last week. Hello.
Was
Or
it last week?
was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Two
How
weeks
time
ago.
how
Yeah.
time
2 weeks
flies.
ago.
Yeah, that's true. But we were under the weather. And this weather is not weathering
Yeah.
right now.
As
So we
in, not
couldn't come
weathering at
we couldn't
all.
come on air. Precious, how is the rain
Yeah.
in Port Harcourt?
Okay. So it rained the whole day today.
Same here.
It's
And
been
it's
raining
heavy.
every day.
Wow.
We are already tired.
And it's heavy. So NIMET is warning that there's going to be some floods and all of that, flash floods in some areas. So we just have to be careful. The rain in
Yes,
Lagos,
yes, yes. And
the
it
rain
happens
in
every year.
and all of that, flash floods in some areas. So we just have to be careful.
And
The
it
rain,
happens.
I feel like this year is going to be different. It's going to be a town hall.
Yeah.
Different.
Different.
Hey, how was your weekend? What did you do? How did you spend your weekend?
My weekend was amazing. I had a couple of meetings I needed to do over the weekend. So basically, that was what I did. But I found time to pay a visit to a friend who gave birth a couple of months back. So went with some other friends just to go and spend some time with her.
Oh, that's
And then I
lovely.
came back home. And yesterday was Monday, and I was indoors because of the rain. Today too, I was indoors because of the rain.
Wow, interesting. Unfortunately, some of
Yes.
us, I wish I had the luxury to stay indoors. I would not have left my house today. The traffic was
Well,
the traffic was an odogo.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
I don't know if we have Sir Joe now, but hey, we're going to have the conversation. So yeah, today we're discussing this. So it's almost like, so I told the producer, let's do a follow up from what we discussed yesterday. Yesterday was about keeping secrets and all of that. So today is a conversation
Yeah.
around, should couples have the right to know their partner's past? Because we talked about secret keeping and all of that yesterday. So today is like, let us follow up on that conversation, because again, sometimes the kind of secrets that a couple will keep away from each other is probably their lifestyle in the past, what they were doing and all of that. So it's almost like if I let this person know, the person might be looking at me in a different with different eye, in a different
Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would just rather not even share that part of their life with the partner. But Precious,
Yeah.
do you think it is okay to keep your past life, away from your spouse?
So speaking as a therapist, there are pros and cons to this. And it will largely depend on one, the type of past life we're talking about, two, the type of character or the characteristics or the personality traits of your partner. There are some things that are in one's past that should never see the light of day.
So you should just
Because those things
bury it with the past and let it stay there forever.
and hope that nobody gets to tell your partner about it. There's some secrets that are yours, like nobody was privy to that scenario, that information, whatever it was that played out. It was just you, yourself, and you. Now, if you know, so normally, when dealing with cases like this, of course, we can't tell the client to, oh yeah, tell me your secret, tell me that secret. No, we try to make them think very well. Should couples have secrets? No, we agree to that. But then there are some secrets that can change the trajectory of a relationship. Is it a consequence that you're willing to live by? Is it going to harm you or your partner, like physically and emotionally? On the other hand, it's good to talk about these secrets or explain these secrets or tell these secrets to your partner because, of course, the advantages are numerous. Most times, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. But again, I will still say it. There are some secrets that you should take to the grave. You yourself, inside the secret, you know exactly what it is. And you know that there's only one outcome.
No,
So
but
if you already know
Precious,
what the outcome is,
I
why
like
bother?
so I like for us to put a bit of context to this kind of secret. So if, for instance, my lifestyle was not, I was in the streets. Is it in the street or on the street? Which one? I don't know now. I was doing
In
things.
the street, in
I
the
was
street.
outside.
Yes.
You understand? And I was doing things outside. And of course, somehow, I gave my life to Christ and decided to go into the church. And I did some things. And I met my husband and we got married. Right? You say all things are passed away, all things have become new when you are giving your life to
Yes.
Christ. Right? But is it possible that that particular lifestyle can be completely eradicated from your today life? If the answer is yes, then I don't think there's absolutely any reason for you to be able to then kind of like give details of what your past life was like. I don't know if you get my point. If the
Yeah, I
past
do.
life is not going to affect who I am today, then I don't need to tell the person these are the things that I was involved in and all of that. But I feel like it is only when that past life has certain kinds of traits showing up in my day-to-day living, like it is, it is always showing up, then I have to have that conversation with my partner to say, this is what, if you see certain things like this, just know that it is coming from, the
My
way
past.
I grew up and the kind of exposures that I had in the past. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So if that is the case, then two things. How should a partner approach it? The person that is receiving the information. And you that you are dishing out the information, how do you tell that partner in a way that it doesn't distort, the current harmony that the relationship is probably enjoying?
Yeah. So this is always a very dicey one and very delicate. And the main reason is we put a lot of weight on the term love. So we just say, oh, if she loves me, she will forgive and forget. If he loves me, my past shouldn't matter. Love is not supposed to bear all of those weights. The person that you are today was being shaped by the person that you were yesterday. All of the things you went through, the lifestyle you lived, whatever it was, the challenges, everything is what made you who you are today. So understand that the person that you're going to unburden yourself to, this is your partner now that you want to tell about your past. Remember that number one, this person is human. And as a human being, this person has what we call emotions. And the emotions can range from excited to anger. And that you cannot be certain 100% because no human being is a robot that is to be controlled. So you cannot even be certain 100% that, hey, this is how I expect my partner to respond when I lay this burden of my past upon them. Now, you who is telling the secret, don't say it as a thing of pride. Don't say it as a way of, you don't know me. This is who I used to be. Just thank God that I have changed.
You know the way you said it now, just a picture of Nollywood movies. If no be condition we make crayfish bend, what have they do with you? Do you know who I've rolled with in the past?
Exactly. So don't do it to rub, salt to injury or to insult on your partner. Let it not be a weapon that you use because you're the one telling your partner your secret. Tell your partner your secret because you want the relationship to be better, to be stronger. Be sure about what your intentions are. Sometimes people spill secrets to hurt their partners. They just keep it and wait. The day I will tell this woman this thing. Maybe you could have a disagreement. Probably she doesn't have kids yet for you, and you could have been actively trying to have a child. And the next thing the man will say, I beg, that will not even concern me. I'm just happy that I have a child. You just throw it into the conversation because you want to hurt the woman. Or the woman, on the other hand, gets an information or has something about her past that she has not told, her man, and then an argument comes in, or he's even at his down moments. And instead of being there for him to support and all of that, you'd be like, no, this can never, you see this thing that you're doing now, it does not even move me. The last time a man did this to me, this was what I did. And you're saying it to make the man feel like he's not even worthy of having your complete attention at the moment that he's down. So your intention has to be clear. And I will state it again, just like you have said, if it really is not necessary, then why the need to spill? Now, for the receiving party, once you can see or feel that your partner is telling you this thing out of a sense of love and duty and saying, look, I don't want there to be any secrets between us. Please receive that information with an open mind. Understand that it is not their today they are talking about. Sometimes these stories might be 30 years before they met you. It could have been something they did in their teenage years.
So even if it is 30 years before, so for instance, if I was a drug addict or I was addicted to, say, pornography, masturbation, or whatever it is, or I was addicted to alcohol, or cigarettes or whatever it is, right? I had an addiction. I think, it would be important, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Let the couple know that this is what I have dealt with in the past, especially because things like that, they might have triggers. And those triggers can even take you, to a place that was far worse than where you were when you were in that particular point. So I feel like when it comes to things around the past, it's important that we segment it, you understand? Because, for instance, if it was an addiction you were dealing with, and all of that, it is important that your partner knows. So that you also, because some of these addictions, they also have triggers. So you would know, okay, these are the things that triggered it, and these are the things, you understand, that I try to stay away from. This is why, I like to have an environment in a certain way and all of that, right? That can then help guide the new relationship, guide, the new path that you have chosen. But if it is a conversation around, what we used to hear in the past where, because you were you were outside, and to some
body
extent,
count.
Body count, and even to the point of even probably something like a loss of a womb, right?
Yeah.
How do you keep that past away from your partner? Because I've seen people keep those past, even for men too, that they have fertility, especially when it comes to around fertility. You're not being completely honest with your wife to say, this was the situation you found yourself. Because you see all these ones that people are shouting, that the woman went to have children for gate man, had children for this and had children for that. It is also because of all this lack of communication. You as the man, you have a problem with your fertility. You not tell your wife. Your wife is now here thinking, oh, maybe I'm the problem. And decided, let me play one away match. You do away match finish and you get, okay, no problem. At this rate, let me just be dishing out. And since he didn't suspect anything, you now hear that the woman has 4 children and the 4 children belong to their gate man, or the 4 children belong to driver, or the 4 children belong to somebody else. You understand? It is all
Yeah.
these little conversations that we have failed to have. We refuse to talk about it. There is a huge problem, and it is in the past. Yes, it is in the past. But that problem can, it can cause a potential damage to the future.
Yeah, in the
So
present,
you
yes.
have to, I don't know, for me, I feel like you have to bring those conversations to the present, so that the person that is entering that relationship with you has complete picture. You understand? I was watching a
Yeah.
video this evening or this afternoon. They asked the girl, she said as at the age of 20, so as at secondary school, she had already done 25 body counts. The guy was not saying, just give a rough estimate as to what body count you did now. The guy said maybe like 800. Precious.
How
So
was the guy's facial expression?
the interviewer was shook.
Yes.
He was completely dumbfounded. But I'm saying to you that when you have those kinds of, first of all, as a woman, I know that when you have gotten to that level of body count, it'll be tough for you to be faithful to one man. It'll be tough for one man. It will be very tough. I don't know how to explain it, but it will be very tough. Do you understand? So those kinds of conversation, I don't think, it is a wise thing to keep it away from your partner. But then again, some people will now argue that when you share this side of your past, there's every likelihood that you're going to lose that relationship. And that is why they'll rather not say it and just lead the person on, and they go into those relationships. So it's a bit of a dilemma. What do you think?
Yes, it is. It is. So, like you said, when it has to do with addiction, you actually need to let your partner know. The reason is there are some triggers that because you were addicted to that thing, you might not even recognize the triggers anymore. But your partner will be able to know. Even something like spousal abuse. You're coming from one abusive relationship to another, to like a new relationship that is not going to be abusive. It's good to tell your partner, look, where I'm coming from, this and this and this is what I went through: emotional abuse, mental abuse, or physical abuse. So triggers like when you raise your voice, I would think you want to beat me. Or when you raise your hand, there are people who, when they are talking, some of them, move their hands a lot. Not even knowing that it might be a trigger to, and so they wonder why every time they move their hands, their partner is trying to dodge or looking scared or or trying to overplease. So when it has to do with addiction, we say tell your partner, because your partner is supposed to be someone who should help shield you from, the bad things that generally life can just throw at you. When it has to do with body counts, that one is a debate that will go on until the end of time. Because body
Are you
count,
saying
there are
that
some
the
people.
woman should never be honest with her body count? Or the man should not be honest with his body
But
count?
no, that's the thing. We say we advocate that it has to do with body count. Please be as honest as you can. The
But
reason
are
is there are
people
some
ready
people
to
who don't.
accept? Wait, Precious.
That's why I
Are
say it
people,
will go
are
until
people,
the end
are
of
people,
time.
do you have the shock absorber to accept if she truly tells you the number of body
It
count, or he tells you?
it will go on. That argument will go until the end of time. Because trust me, people lie about their body count more often than the so-called truth out there. Whatever figure you heard, well, so as it has to do with body count, you need to. So that's another thing about having conversations, communicating. You should be able to know what your partner won't be able to take before you even get into the relationship. If the person is really highly spiritual, okay, so let me give a short story. A long time ago, I was living in Calabar, and I experienced a couple, a husband and wife, and something happened, and the wife was advising a couple of people, and she said, look, it had to do with telling your partner secrets. And she said, look, I told my husband about my past, and that's what saved my marriage. Because as of that time, I think they were trying to conceive, and before you know, gossip, people start going to meet the man to say, it's because of the kind of life this woman lived before she married you. We are not sure she has a womb, She must have terminated so many pregnancies and all that. And they were shocked and surprised that the man did not take any of their conversations to heart. Like all of the revelations, he would just listen, go back home and go and gist his wife. And the one reoccurring statement he kept telling her was, thank God you told me this before we got married. So it better prepared me for when people will now come and tell me what they think I don't already know. And she said that was what kept their marriage up until the time it was that singular thing that she had told him. Now, on the other hand, somebody might tell, their husband to be, oh, this is my body count, and that will be the end of the relationship.
Yes. So Precious, it then draws me to our next, um, direction. There is a place of maturity. You understand? That
Yeah.
somebody must possess for you to be able to open up and tell the person your past. How do you then determine who is mature enough to handle certain kinds of conversation? Because it's not everybody that can stomach that the fact that you've had several, you understand, what's it called, body counts, and you've also had, a few abortions and all of that. It's not many people that can stomach that kind of information. So how do you know, how do you tell that, okay, I think our relationship has gotten to that level that it can stand, no matter what, it can stand certain kinds of information, so that we can now, bear it all and open up and just have that conversation? How do you tell that it is the right time and it is the right person you're actually talking to?
So as it has to do with maturity, there is no ruler that we can use to say this
To
person is
measure,
matured.
yeah.
Yes, because it doesn't show up in age. It's not about how old they are. It's not about the position they hold in society. It's more about who that person is. And you can't 100% know somebody, but you can know them to an extent. And so so I tell couples, especially new budding relationships, discuss a lot. In that discussion, again, I'm going to tell a story from my childhood. A lady had, she had a child, I think maybe when she was in secondary school or so. And by this time, she was working, taking care of her child and all of that. And she met this young man, and the man was amazing, but she did not tell him she had a child. And this normal, your girlfriend, you as a girl, you go to your man's house to go and cook and tell him to invite his friends over. Or he is having his friends over and he tells you, oh, babe, come now, come and make something for the boys. And so while she was in his house, cooking, serving, and generally just being a good, wife to be, so to speak, one of the guy's friends brought up a conversation around dating a woman who has a child. And her man, with all boldness, said there is no way he can end up with such a woman.
Ew.
He will not date one. He will not marry one. He cannot have another man's child in his house. Like he said a lot. And she was shocked at what she was hearing. She hadn't told him she had a child. And so she just put herself, held herself together. The day ended, she spent the night in her mind. This is goodbye. Let me just give you the last night. She stayed with him. The next day she left and broke up with him. And for months, the guy couldn't understand why they broke up. He kept, what is it? What happened? And all of that. After a couple of months, her sister finally convinced her to tell the guy. They're like, look, just tell him. It's either he owns up to his mistake or he stands by what he said. So she did that. And when she told him, she was like, look, the truth is we won't end up together. And I don't want to, just keep going in and out of relationships. I'm sorry I didn't tell you this, but I have a child. And this is a conversation you and your friends were having a couple of months back. And the guy was shocked. He said, is that all? She said, yes. He said, but I was joking. I didn't even mean those things I was saying.
What kind of joke is that?
And he just wanted to like, feel like a man who will not say, no, you need a fresh man for yourself, not the one that was just a regular talk. He didn't mean anything by it. And he went on to prove himself to her. And a couple of months down the line, she introduced him to her child. And I think a year or two after that, they got married. Now, that could have gone the other way. He could have actually stood by his words and say, oh, is that it? Why did you not tell me from the beginning? You were out to, to deceive me. Thank God for that conversation that day, and he actually go his own way. But he retraced his step. That's also a sign of maturity to say, look, I know this thing that happened is life. You're out of it. It's not like you're still in a relationship with the father of your child. You have not even seen each other for over 10 years as of that time. And you're a good person. Having a child did not make you a bad person. Having a child outside wedlock. So he apologized and they ended up together.
So, Precious, just let's stay on this story for a little bit, right? There was something, I think, fundamental that happened. He experienced who she was.
Yes.
If at the beginning of that relationship she told him she had a child, that relationship would not have even gotten to that level where he had seen or experienced her. I don't know if you get my point. So he had already experienced her. He had felt who she was. He knew her to some extent. And he already was in love with the person he was seeing. It's not that what he said was completely a joke. There are some elements of truth in it. But what changed the equation was that there are exceptions to the rule because this person is too good for me to let her go. So I will make an exception to the rule. I think that is what he did. I don't think what he said was a complete joke. No, he was joking. No, I don't think so. He meant what he said because he was not under any pressure to have a response. You understand?
Yeah.
So, and they say out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? But what the difference is that he had experienced her. He had felt, oh, this person is amazing. So I have to hold on to her. She's a good person. She's not like every other person. It's not like she, intentionally wants to bring a child, to me. You understand? But guess what? This is where I am of the opinion that before you start to run your mouth to say you want to share, your past, build a relationship first with that person. Study the person. Know who you are dealing with. It's not everybody that needs to know your shenanigans. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once you have studied that person, you will know that this one, because if they had not built a relationship for a while, at the beginning of that relationship, you are just meeting somebody on the first date. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I say, well, I'm a you don't understand. I'm a single mother. You go say, okay, it was nice meeting you. Shake your hand, and that's the end. But because they had built a relationship, they had built a friendship, you understand? Yes. He has experienced her without any bias in his mind. Because having a child would have been a bias. That if he knew, he didn't have any of all those things. He experienced her as a single person that he was dating, that he was beginning to fall in love with, and all of that. That's why that marriage happened. So it is now when to tell and, who to tell and what to tell. But you know what? Let's go on a break.
How to tell.
And how to tell it. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Veda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Staying tuned. If you're just tuned in, our conversation today is, should couples have a right to know their partner's past, right? That's the question we're asking. And of course, I've been having an amazing conversation with Precious. You can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Our phone lines are also open, 07025007749 or 07014242420. Those are the numbers to call. Please, let's hear what you have to say. You can also share the YouTube links if you have someone that's been keeping a secret. Share the link to someone, and also leave your comments on YouTube as well. Precious, this conversation is interesting.
Yes.
So what I said before we went on the break, and you said how to say it. All of those things is all the ingredients that matter. You understand? Who to say,
Yeah.
what to say, when to say it, and how to say it, right? But you see, the question we asked is that should the couple, the partner, should they have the right? Is it a right thing? Is my right to know your past as your spouse? Or it's a thing of, what? I think it is, I'm trying to find the word I'm looking for now. It's not your right to know my past.
Yeah, it's not.
It should be me voluntarily, right, letting you in on my past. It's two different things. You don't own it. You don't own my past because you were not there when it happened, right?
Yeah.
But I can voluntarily share, what I think, are important information that you need to know, so that it can also help better, either build your trust, or build the unity, or build the friendship, or build the bond between us.
Yeah.
It's not your right.
Yeah.
Abi?
No. If we want to answer the question, should couples have a right? No. It's I don't want to use, if I use the word privilege, I don't know if it will be taken out of context, but something similar to, like you said, letting you in. It's not a door that you would open to everybody. So that you are the select one that I choose to tell this shouldn't mean that it is your right. It's actually not your right. I can choose not to tell you.
True.
And it's not supposed to be too big of an issue. Like I said, we put so much emphasis on love and so much baggage. So it's like, if you love me, you will tell me. Or if you love me and I've told you, you will forgive me. No. Was it necessary that I tell you this? Was it necessary that you needed to hear? Sometimes even the timing. So what someone would tell their partner about their past when they are in a 2-year relationship, and the partner might flare up. 30 years down the line, the partner might say, oh, that's fine, it happened a long time ago. While on the other hand, you can say that thing early, and that is when the person will even be most appreciative that you spoke up early, so it can be, dealt with and swept under the rug. Everybody's characteristics is different, and then the dynamics of the relationship is also different.
It matters, Precious.
Is the relationship something that is going to last for as long as possible? That should also be taken into consideration, because if I'm dating you for 2 weeks, why am I telling you all my secrets when I'm not sure about the 3rd week with you? If it's just a fling, why? So the dynamics of the relationship too matter.
And I think if you are even married, Seth, this is my opinion, no, don't come for me. If you are married, I feel like you need to earn it, my ability to let you into my life in totality. Because I feel like the burden that is placed on a couple when they say the two shall become one, that burden is too much. I don't need to start to tell my husband everything about my life just because a pastor pronounced us husband and wife and the two shall become one. No, it has to be a gradual. If not, it can become overwhelming. Do you understand?
Yes.
It can become
Yes.
overwhelming. And if the person does not have the capacity or the maturity, and like you rightly said, if we are 2 weeks into a relationship and we are 20 years into a relationship, the dynamics are completely different. Do you understand?
Yes.
There's nothing where you want to tell me, I beg, leave all those things. You understand what I'm saying? But,
Yeah.
except if it is secrets, that are like, I don't know how to explain it, but that's why I said that if the thing, if it comes out, is going to affect the marriage, I think to some extent it's good to be open about it from day one. So if you want scatter, make it just cuckoo scatter that time. Not that you now
Yes.
go
Before you
into
get
that,
invested.
yes, you now go into that relationship and all of a sudden you're now struggling to know what timing or not timing. Okay, see that couple that the couple that had the issue in the UK. I don't know that one that went viral, where the husband brought his child and pretended that she was a house help, or be his sister's daughter or something, but it was his child. You understand? I mean, what would he have taken from that man to say, see, I had a child outside, a long time ago, before I even met you, and this child, I've been trying so hard to see how we can renew so that she can unite with her siblings and they all grow up together. Is a thing of, oh no, it's not going to be acceptable, or yes, but you would have said it. But the way you now went about the shouty nature, and now trying to bring her under the guise of somebody else that she's not, that one for me was just too much. You understand?
Yeah, it
And
was.
it was
Yeah.
too much. And you cannot beat somebody and tell the person how you expect the person to cry. No.
No, no,
So
no, no.
you would have it's like you rightly said about how to say it. You know, the timing to say it. You guys have gotten married. Okay, you've been in the marriage for some time now. Babe, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. This is the situation. Whatever your decision is, I am going to be 100% comfortable with it. But it is important that I let you know, that this and this is, I have a child. And, I really, really would love for the child to come and join her siblings. You understand? It would be good
Yeah.
for all of them to be, so that I don't have divided attention, so that everybody will be. I mean, there's a way you would tell that person, except the person is
Yes.
truly, except the person, maybe the person gets some loose nuts for their head. There's a way you will pass an information that it disarms the person. You understand? It disarms the
Yeah.
person completely. So the all the reactions or whatever that would have happened, you've already disarmed that person.
Yeah.
That emotional intelligence, you understand, the capacity to be able to, communicate certain very hard, what's it called, hard conversations. You soften the land and, just let it land smoothly. I think it will be easier to be able to then, have that conversation with, your spouse.
Yes.
But if it is a thing of, no, I have a child and the child is coming, that's it, problem go there. Or this one that you lied, that the
Problem.
child, the child was somebody else's child or something, problem.
Yes.
Mm.
And when you go about things like that, you now start hearing couples ask questions like, so what other thing are you keeping from me? What will
Yes.
I wake up tomorrow to come and hear?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And these things, especially when kids are involved, will also impact negatively on these kids because the atmosphere in the home will be changed and all of that. So
Mm. Okay.
your past,
Mm.
there were things that made you live the life you lived in your past.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like telling your partner means your partner will judge you. Remember that the circumstances then and now are not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So and there are some people who say, look, if I don't say this thing, I won't have peace of mind. We
True.
totally understand.
Mm-hmm.
So if you feel that you're not going to live a fulfilled life until you have told your partner certain things about your past, also understand that your partner has the right to say, look, I don't want you as a part of my life anymore. The fact that you chose to share does not automatically mean that they would have to accept what you have shared and still keep being active in your life.
Mm.
The gravity of see, there are so many things that are secret, so many. Some of them are so terrible that it is better that you keep quiet. While some of them are so trivial that by the time you tell your partner will be like, wait. Now this thing, now they make you do like say heaven won't come down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they will laugh about it. Sometimes it might even be shocking to know that because of how, you know, your present life was being shaped by your past, your partner already even suspects some of the things because of the characteristics you display. And so you might only just be helping your partner even understand you better when you end up sharing this aspect of your past.
So, but Precious,
So,
now
yeah,
this is why I think a lot of people run away or shy away from having conversations about their past. Partners start to use it against you, especially the
weapon.
very, very immature ones. They weaponize
Yes.
the information about you. That
And
in it,
that's the first thing that makes people not want to share.
that in the pain.
They are scared of giving you that power over them because
Yes.
as long as they love you, anytime you use that as a weapon, you
Do you
know, over
understand?
them, it cuts all over again.
Because every time you talk, you say, I beg go. And you don't say, but no be me tell you this thing. Why is it that every single time I tell you, you say, is that not how? Is that not how? So that's why a lot of people will just rather swallow it and they will go to the grave with it. I say, I know they talk because a lot of people are also afraid to be that vulnerable with people. You understand?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense that I tell you, and maybe for instance now, I wish Sergio was here. There was going to be a divorce. Now the first thing you go tell the judge for court. That
I
was
think see that
how.
eye that he eyed us today. You want Sergio to come and eye us again on live TV?
Sergio said he has used padlock to lock the WhatsApp group. Because this is why people don't talk. Because you go talk finish now. When it's time to go for a divorce, he go tell the judge, Your Honor, I have it on good authority because she used her mouth to confess to me. You
To
know?
me, yes.
So, I mean, they keep on prejudging you. I mean, it might be funny. I'm trying to make light of it because, but that is some people's reality. They have said some things to their partners in the past that they wished they never mentioned.
Yeah.
So how do you start to tell that person not to keep the certain conversations away from their partner? How do you start to preach, what's it called, openness? How do you start to preach?
There are some things that you just leave to chance. Now, even about this partner's past, not all past is bad. Now, for some, especially as it has to do with women, you meet a woman maybe in her 40s, early 40s, late 40s, or even early 50s, and you could hit it off and you could get married or you are in a long-term relationship. And she doesn't disclose how wealthy she is or the kind of investments that she has done. On her part, she justifies the reason by saying, or rather her decision by saying, the last time I told a man all he wanted was my money. He just wanted me for my money. Or you hear things like, the last time I told a man, he said, if we're going to end up together as husband and wife, I have to transfer everything to his name. So you find out that sometimes these women keep quiet and later on, the partner, in the long-term relationship or the husband now finds out that so and so building belongs to the wife or so and so business. Sometimes something as little as a credit alert. They will not say a particular kind of amount that they've not seen before. And they're like, wait, you mean we were going through so and so in this house and you had this type of money and you did not bring it out? And she's like, oh, I saved it up. I want to invest it in my business. And you hear, no, my family was so, there are so many all of these things. And the woman be like, look, I made this when we were not together. And so I want to keep it like a safety net, or it's what I use in taking care of my folks, or it is just my savings. I just want it there as my savings and investment. And the man is saying, no, the one I'm working for, two of us are eating it. So you need to bring that one. Let us also look for a way to put it to better use. So they are really some kinds of secrets that can be detrimental to the health of the relationship. Sometimes, too, it also helps you to understand exactly where you stand in the life of your partner. Because when you move away from the fact that your woman is industrious and that over the last couple of years, this is what she was able to accomplish, and all you can focus on is how to spend and squander, then it lets the woman know exactly
I was just going to say that, you see, if you know that you're married to somebody that is irresponsible, a gambler, for instance,
yes,
you ain't gonna know nothing about me.
they go sell you one day, carry the papers, go
Yes,
as
now,
in
because
sell
those
you.
kind of people, they are, when, especially when it has become an addiction, is a problem. Oh. But you see, this thing you said, because yesterday Sheyi and Tommy, they were on the show, and Tommy shared a very, very disheartening story. They had a daughter that was in the hospital, and they needed money, and the woman had 25 million in her account, and she didn't bring it out, and they lost the child, unfortunately. That man can never forgive that kind of person.
Exactly.
So but that one is keeping secrets within the marriage, the relationship. But this is now about your past.
Yeah.
So if you ask me, I would say that, except that there's something in that past that can still be rekindled, that can trigger and that can cause detrimental harm to me as a person, not even the spouse I'm telling. No. So for instance, as I said before, if it was an addiction and I know that I have worked so hard to come out of it, right? And I know that there are certain triggers, and maybe that's why if you come to my space, you don't find alcohol, you don't find any of those things, just to be able to keep myself clean, right? I will talk about it. I will say, this is what I dealt with, right? Because again, it is very clear now that some of these things that we call our past are in no way our own making. Look at the videos that have been going viral about children being fed sachet alcohol. I don't know if you saw any of those videos.
I saw that video and I was just shaking.
So tell me, if that child grows up tomorrow to become an alcoholic and is dealing with, you understand, an addiction of, it is not any fault of theirs. But let's say God has done it and the child now finds, help, and the child. So it is important that spouse know. Or maybe in cases of rape, maybe rape or something, you understand, that you have gone through rape and all of that. Or, like you talked about earlier, physical abuse, right?
Yeah.
Physical abuse, sometimes, like you said, when the person is trying to talk, you see the person will be defensive. I know a couple that thing happened to the man had to tell her, I'm not your abuser. I'm not the one. So he had to reassure her. So now, they're good, but it was bad at first. When it was coming close, even when it comes to issues around rape, for instance, when you're trying to even make love to your wife, she's already withdrawn. So those kinds of past, they are absolutely very important for you to share, to say, see, this is what I went through. You understand? These are the things, because those kinds of things will continue to have things that will trigger, that will bring you back, you understand, to those kinds of things. So it's important to share. But when it is trivial things, you understand, like maybe money, I was a billionaire, I still have the billions, but it's hidden somewhere. That one, no, it's not really, I don't think those things are important. And I feel like for every woman, share what you think the person has the capacity to handle. Maturity. I will still go back to that word, maturity. Because some people do not have the maturity. They don't have any sense of, they're just there. They are so absent. They're not even conscious. They don't read the room. And those are not in fact, in the first place, that's not the kind of person you should marry.
You should marry, yes.
Just carry your 2 legs. Say, this one, let's say now one chance I enter. Carry your slippers, put them under your armpit and run, because there are some things that, especially if you have dealt with a lot of things in the past, it's important that the person that you find in the future must have not just the the physical or whatever, it must have the emotional capacity, you understand, to help you, because there are some things that are damages that would be done to you as a person that would live with you for the rest of your life. So you
Yes.
cannot your destiny is too important for you to marry anyhow person. You have to be intentional about who you eventually end up with, because if you don't do that, it means that you are just going to be, of course, in a short time, that relationship will be over. But if you had some final thoughts on this conversation, what would it be as we wrap up the show?
I would say communicate, because that's one of the fastest ways to understand the emotional maturity of your partner. That will also help you know what to say, when to say, why to even say it, and how to say it. And for the partners who are on the receiving end of this information, please, as you've followed every other thing with love, with understanding, with support, with care, with prayers if you're spiritual, please also follow these particular, secrets that they shared with you like that. Understand also that this person is telling you because they know that you're the right person to receive that kind of information at that particular time. So look beyond how, drastic or devastating or bad, the story is, and look directly to the person telling the story. And if you know this person and you understand that this is who you fell in love with, then it won't actually move you to, start taking crazy decisions. Instead, it will even make you love and understand the person more.
So on a lighter note, Precious, do you have some stories in the past that will never be shared?
The network is bad.
It is very clear. I can hear you clearly.
He's trying to disconnect.
You're talking like a true therapist. Do you have some secrets that will go with you when you are going to go and see Baba God?
I think we all do. The truth is, I think we all do. Sometimes it can be something really crazy, but I think we all do.
But you know something powerful? Storytelling is the most powerful tool you can use to build yourself as a human being. I would say to anybody, I would say to anybody, you no get anything where you know fish talk. It is just how you tell that story that matters. Because that story that you think you are hiding can eventually become the story that will put you on a global stage. So my sister, it's your life. I mean, my brother too, it's your life. You just need to find good communicators to teach you how to. Even me, I'm still trying to learn. Find a way to tell your story and tell it powerfully. Because trust me, most of the greatest people that we see today, they are storytellers. And those stories are not fabricated. It is their life stories that they have used to build multi-billion-dollar businesses. So what are we saying? I don't think there's anything that will be too heavy. If the person cannot handle it, the person should walk. If that story, sharing that past would give you the freedom to be able to be in that relationship, by all means share. If the person leaves, then the person was never meant to be yours. That's what I would say. Yeah. Precious. You have dodged my question. I'll come back on on Thursday with another question. But I hope you had a good time.
I did always.
Awesome. All right, guys, please remember you can share your story. We just talked about story. Share your story at Veda Consult, at Veda Consult, right? That's it. Counsel at Veda Consult. Counsel at Veda Consult. Share your story. Please, it's important that you find a way to detox your mind, make your emotions a bit lighter, and people are here to help you through whatever it is, the challenges or whatever. People are always here to help you. So I love you guys. I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening.